Limit yourself to 2 questions first, the Chief Executive.
早晨，多謝大家今
Good
日嚟到呢
morning.
度。
Thank you for coming here.
香港嘅經濟活動同埋社
The
會活動
economic and
的
social
確係
activities in Hong
動
Kong
起嚟，會起嚟啦。
are taking
例如
off.
我哋首先星期日咧就
For
係
example,
開
on
通咗
Sunday,
我哋嘅將藍隧道
the
同
Changnam
埋跨灣
Lantern
連接
Tunnel and
橋，
Cross Bay Link
咁我哋嘅運作都係暢順，
traffic
市民亦都好歡迎，亦都即時使用，包括我哋嘅步行徑啊同埋單車徑。當然啦，我哋喺呢方面咧同時咧都會密切留意住交通嘅情況，希望盡量咧係令到個交通暢順。
We want to make sure that
亦都喺同日咧，
there is
我
smooth
留意到
traffic.
咧喺馬場咧
And
係
then
舉
on the
行
same
咗
day
國際賽
at
事。
the race
咁啊，
course
國際
there
賽事咧
was
有
an
成4萬多人參
international
與，
race
氣氛就非常之熱
with
烈。
over 40,000 people taking part in it. Everybody was happy and enjoyed the event. You could see that the economic and social activities are returning to Hong Kong, and this is glad to
大家知道
know.
啦，我哋嘅貨運已經回復翻。
For cargo transport, as you know, we've resumed point-to-point delivery and collection. There's no longer a need to have other transit arrangements. And I've talked to colleagues. I know that those in the sectors, practitioners, the operators and drivers all support the point-to-point measure. Again, we will closely monitor the operation to see if there is any way we could help the sector further. For truck drivers, in the past few years, they had a tough time delivering goods, and now there's been improvement, and I believe they will also help commodity prices because the transport costs will come down. And I would like to make an announcement on the latest changes to our prevention and control measures. We have studied data and analyzed risk. We are most grateful to the Health Bureau for working hard in the past few days to do a detailed analysis of all the data. So I and Professor Lo Chung Mao are able to make some decisions. This afternoon, Professor Lo will be announcing the new measures to you. He will elaborate on those issues. But first, let me tell you what these measures are. The first decision is that starting from tomorrow, there is no longer a need to scan the Li Feng Safe app, but we will keep the vaccine pass requirement for certain premises, for example, eating establishments. We will still keep the vaccine pass requirement, so you need to show your vaccine pass for entry to these premises. Second decision, we are removing the yellow code arrangement. That means for those who are confirmed cases, their code will be red, and for all those not infected, their code is blue. That includes arrivals at Hong Kong. And for those with a blue code, they can engage in activities as normal. We have made these 2 decisions because we have considered the data and the risks. And one of the factors considered is that the risk brought in by imported cases is actually lower than the risk of local infection. So even if we remove the yellow code, it's not going to add to the risk of infection in the community. And so that's why we have come to these decisions. This afternoon, Professor Lo will be hosting a press briefing, and he will be explaining in detail the data and the risks to you. Of course, there will be related measures that Professor Lo will announce this afternoon. But the 2 key decisions are the ones I've just told you. As for the details, Ms. Professor Lo will be telling you about that later. And it will come into effect from tomorrow because from making the announcement to actually enforcing the new requirements. We would like to allow time for Prime Ministers to make the necessary arrangements, say, in relation to the Leave Home Safe app. Of course, we need to inform people, so tomorrow the measures will come into effect. Here, I would like to express my gratitude once again to Professor Low, leading colleagues of the Health Bureau, for keeping up their effort to review the situation, and they have done much. Now, from the with cancellation of the circuit breaker mechanism for flights, from scrapping the centralized isolation arrangement, and from 0 to 3 now, there's no longer need for quarantine, for isolation in facilities. People just, if they're infected, they should just stay home. And for others who are not infected, they could engage in activities as normal. So I'm grateful to the colleagues of the Health Bureau and Professor Low for his leadership in making all this possible. Now the floor is open to questions. If you wish to ask questions, please raise your hands. And when I call upon you to speak, please use the microphone. And I first identify the organization represented. Please limit yourself to 2 questions. The first, the lady in white on the first row. I'm from Lam TV. On the measures announced, that means there will still be no, there will still be vaccine pass requirements only because some officials just couldn't overcome this psychological barrier. And what exactly is that? And what about resumption of the normal travel with the mainland? Will it happen next year? And we will first open up the border to those with business needs and so on. Now, on our prevention and control measures, we have regard to the actual situation. We look at data and we adopt a targeted and precise approach in controlling the epidemic. That's all along been our policy, and I'm most grateful to colleagues of the Health Bureau for, keeping up the review of the situation based on science, and then on the basis of risk, they adjust our prevention and control measures. And for this latest decisions is because we have adequately considered the data and the risks. And then the Health Bureau then made such suggestions. So I'm grateful to them for such science-based and data-based analysis and recommendations. As for the resumption of quarantine-free travel with the mainland, our target has always been to resume such travel as soon as possible. But then we have to proceed according to the actual situation. You know that on the mainland, what the epidemic situation is like, the number of cases each day, and all the support measures have to be considered too. And then we proceed in taking such effort forward. Of course, we support the measures in mainland, and we believe that the measures in mainland will yield results, and very soon, hopefully, then there will be some enabling arrangement. But of course, we need to support the arrangement, and if there is anything we can do here, of course, we will make the announcement at the first instance. Thank you.
Next question, the gentleman in the middle, in a shirt.
Good morning, Mr. Lee, Hong Kong Free Press. With the Vax Pass, masks and gathering limit, Hong Kong still appears to be one of the world's last zero COVID holdouts as China's rapidly loosening the restrictions. Since we have a higher vaccination rate, how do we still justify such measures? And if we do loosen the rules, should the border reopening be one of the last things to be considered if cases are increasing there? Second, the security chief made world headlines yesterday with his comments on Google's Anthem results last night. Is the government aware of the Streisand effect in that such continual statements could be helping not only promote the protest song, but boost its presence in search results? And will the government buy Google ads to fix that issue?
Well, first of all, any measures that we introduced to deal with COVID is based on actual figures, data, and risk assessment. That has always been the policy, and this is also the reason why I make the announcement about the 2 new decisions that we have made. It's based on data, based on actual situation, based on risk assessments. The second thing is regarding resumption of normal travel with the mainland. Of course, I take this close to my heart, and I'll do everything that can facilitate it. But we also must be aware that decisions made are similarly based on actual situation and also data and risk assessment in cities in the mainland. This is a process I went through, and this is the process that I will, of course, give all my assistance to facilitate going through. But we have to look at data and the risks involved. But I think all people want to have less restrictions as much as possible while ensuring activities socially and economically can proceed as much as possible. In regard to the inaccurate playing of our national anthem, we take it very seriously, because national anthem represents a country. It represents the people. It represents dignity. Any organization, any responsible organization should act in such a way to ensure that the national anthem is played correctly, to respect, first of all, each country's national anthem, to respect each country's law, and also to respect the people of that country. And I think that is a universal principle. And if any company is in any way responsible, it has that moral obligation. That we will pursue, and we'll continue to see what other things we will do. So definitely we will send our letters to Google again to pursue this matter. I also note that Google has agreed to remove a person's privacy or private data according to judgment of European Court. So there are ways to do it. It's a matter whether a company acts responsibly and respect the importance of national anthem in the global context.
Due to time constraint, we will take the last question. The lady at the front. I'm from .news.
第一個問題咧係政府都希望同內地商討增加人民通道嘅。
The government is in talks with the mainland about increasing the quota in the compassionate corridors. Is there any chance that we can relax the border control measures for Hong Kong people traveling to the mainland? There are media reports saying that on some search engines, some false results related to Hong Kong independence are still displayed, and in fact they are on top of the search results. What measures will the government take? The government has been proactive in taking steps to make people flow happen between the boundary. If there are measures that could make things happen, the SAR government and the Shenzhen government will consider such measures considerably. For example, the point-to-point arrangement for cross-boundary trucks As a measure has been taken on this basis, I am grateful for the Guangdong Provincial Government and the Shenzhen Municipal Government for ensuring the supply of goods and the operation of the supply chain, as well as for the economic activities. They have done a lot of work. As for traveling across the boundary, in facilitating cross-boundary travel and increasing quotas, etc. The governments on both sides are aware of the need and will work towards this goal. We will examine the data and look at the risks, and we will work together on this. The consensus is that we can work towards this goal. If there is a result, we will make an announcement. There have been multiple incidents of playing the wrong song when the national anthem should have been played. We have requested Google to take certain actions. For example, the Chinese national anthem should be put on top of the search results. We know this is entirely technical possible. When someone takes out an advertisement, the search results can be adjusted accordingly. Google has the means to remove inaccurate search results, including doing so to comply with the ruling of a European Court judgment. In cases of the breach of the law, such as child pornography materials, there are ways to remove such materials. National anthem being a solemn matter, there's a legal statutory standing. The national anthem also represents the dignity of a country and its people. It's a matter of principle. It's also an ethical issue. Any responsible organization should take this matter seriously. We will continue to pursue this matter with Google, and I have requested various government departments to explore what action they can take. Thank you. That ends our press briefing. I'll take the one last question. For this matter, the courts will deal with the matter. At this stage, as the matter is still being handled by the court, I'm not in a position to comment on the matter.